Good evening. It's Wednesday night. You are live.
Hello, everybody.
It's Bex and Sean.
Yep.
And tonight we are talking about ghostly dimensions and different dimensions. Do they exist?
Do you believe? And what are your theories on them? Are there 10 dimensions? Are there 26 dimensions? We know there's 3 dimensions. But are there any more? Tell us what you think.
We'll discuss it live here now. Is there a ghost dimension? Just like the name of the show, does it exist? Is it real? Are we in a dimension? Who knows? Do aliens come from another dimension?
Yeah.
Is what we are seeing as spirits, as ghosts, is it really
a different dimension?
Exactly.
Perhaps maybe a living person, but somehow, something's happened in the atmosphere where therefore we can see that living person in a different dimension, in our dimension. All of these things really intrigue me, and I'd like to know if there's anybody out there listening to us tonight or afterwards. Get in touch and we would like to see what you think.
On the show, when we do Ghost Dimension and we film, we play different types of music. One of them is this chant which we play, and it seems to open a portal to another dimension. This is what it sounds like. This is what we play. Every time we do it, it seems to open a gateway to the spirit world. The last time we played it
was
at Pluckley Village in Kent.
Yes, it was. Oh, it was fantastic. But there was one time when we played it, and I don't know if we did play it. And however, it was Paul's machine, and this is the best evidence of a different dimension that we've got so far on the episodes. It was Paul's machine where he's got the amp and all that, and we were calling out on this machine, and all of a sudden it was our voices saying a different word back to us. So I think Sean said, "Is anybody there?" And then Sean on this machine, Sean's voice came back and it said something like, "Hi." And then I did the same, and Jane did the same, Paul was there. And it was bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was at the Tivoli Theatre.
I think it was the Tivoli
in
Theatre.
Buckley.
At the top, wasn't it? Top circle. And it was, it may have not been, but to us, it was like we were speaking and communicating with a different dimension.
And I believe that sometimes when we encounter a spirit on a location, or just generally when you're ghost hunting, that we're not always in tune with a past person. I believe we're crossing over to interdimensional species that are existing in the same physical plane as us, and they potentially can hear what we're doing, and they could be responding to what we are doing. So they could literally be doing a ghost hunt, and we are doing a ghost hunt at the same time, because they can hear somebody knocking on a wall, somebody saying hello. And what we're capturing, maybe, sometimes, it's not a ghost or a spirit, it's actually somebody else in another dimension.
And maybe that's how we do. That's how we describe what a ghost is, what a spirit is. Maybe 9 times out of 10, it's not an actual dead person. It's a different dimension we're talking to. However, maybe we can't speak to it. Maybe we can't hear its voice. Maybe we can sometimes. What's everybody's thoughts on possible worlds, different worlds out there with different dimensions, with different things happening on them? I'd like to know if anybody's out there right now listening to us.
If you're listening, do you believe that we are in contact with other dimensions as well as People in the spirit world, do you believe that we're contacting another being in another place, in another realm?
Or perhaps ourselves in a different dimension. Are we connecting with us in a different dimension? Do you believe in a different plane that's with the same things happening but different outcomes? So me and Sean sitting here doing a podcast and the phone rings in one dimension and it doesn't ring in this dimension. Those little tiny changes that result in big things at the end.
So I know that I can see on my phone here that Paul and Jane, who are on the show, are commenting. So Paul and Jane are massive believers in different dimensions. So I'm going to check those in a second and see what it is that they're saying. But there's a lot of different theories. Maybe some people don't believe in any of it. Maybe people don't believe that ghosts exist or the spirit world exists or even dimensions. But maybe they are. Paul has said perhaps sometimes it's time slips that happen.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. What else has he said?
And he says the music that we play, which is the chant, which I'll play again now, this music that we play, this music, this tune attracts activity because of its spiritual vibration.
Yep.
So this music we're playing now, that's what's causing it. That's what Paul believes.
I believe the same. I do. I believe the same. That's why we chant and it repeats and repeats and repeats, because it's changing the vibrational atmosphere around you, therefore creating maybe a channel, maybe a vortex for spirits to communicate easily. And also the singing bell does the same sort of noise, the same wavelength. Anyway, ghost dimensions, different dimensions. What do you believe? Get in touch with us tonight or write on Sean's profile under his link.
If you can, try stick to the app just because it's quicker. It pops up and we can see it straight away. Like Mary's commented there and said hello. So hi Mary, it's Mary, how are you? Hope you're doing fantastic.
Hi Mary.
So if you can, please communicate via the app, which is the quickest way to do it.
Is it on Ghost Dimension? Have you shared it on Ghost Dimension?
We're just going to check the... yes, it should be on Ghost Dimension now. But please do get in touch. Tell us what you believe. Maybe you've experienced a different dimension and you're a solid believer of it. Maybe that's what's happened. Maybe you've physically made contact with another dimension.
Right, it's up on Ghost Dimension page. So if you want to comment on the page.
Comment on a page or use this app.
Or here.
Jane says she believes that there is... she said aliens. So
love it, Jane.
Jane's believes it's aliens. I've never heard of an alien.
Let me translate. Aliens.
Aliens. And they're more advanced than we are.
I agree. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think you're right. I think there is aliens. I've had an experience with UFOs. Bex has had experiences with UFOs. Maybe those UFOs and aliens travel to our dimension via a vortex or a portal into their own dimension.
Yeah, I do believe maybe they live on a different plane.
Maybe they do. Maybe we're not alone. Maybe they're constantly around us. Maybe when the time slips happen, there's one in Liverpool, in the UK, in Merseyside.
Yeah.
What street's that one? What street's that on? The one in Liverpool? There's a street in Liverpool that a time slip happens on, and different people have witnessed old things going down the street.
Perhaps one day this is a show. Maybe we should
do
a
show. We should investigate it, see if it's real.
Yeah. So get in touch if you've got any questions or...
Well, yeah, or anything you want to discuss. Maybe it's not related to this. Yeah. Maybe you want to just say hello. we're seeing quite a few coming through on like my page instead of the app. So hello to everybody that's commenting there. But yeah, talking just to go back onto time slips. So time slips are replays in time.
Yeah.
But is it? We don't have any solid, concrete proof.
Evidence, no, we've not. But wouldn't it be interesting to know when something happened and visit back on that day, on that time, to see if we experience a time slip?
It'd be really good.
Wouldn't it?
It would be amazing. I know that maybe, you know, when we've heard things on location.
Yes.
And it has no relevance to the investigation.
Yeah.
Why is that happening? Is it because we feel it doesn't have a relevance to the location? Or is it perhaps because it does have a relevance?
Well, when we were in Open Air Museum in Skegness,
yes,
and Paul was in what would you call that? The engine room with the big steam train, and it had an engine and stuff like that. And then on the device that he was using at the time,
yeah.
it said engine, it said steam, it said something else, and it was coming up with stuff. Was that because he was in the moment right there and then? He was picking it up on his device. You know, it's all interesting and it's all brilliant, and we could speak about it for hours. However, we've only got 2 minutes left.
Do you know, we do these podcasts every night,
well,
and maybe we should maybe we should extend them because and just as we're saying that, in our house there was a big knock.
There was a big knock.
There was a really loud knock, so the spirits are knocking like they're saying to us, "Wrap up, guys, the time's running out." But no, there's plenty to talk about, especially on dimensions, and I don't think we're finished with that subject.
I don't think we have.
I think there's more to it. There's more to discuss.
Yeah.
You know, the 7th dimension, the 8th dimension.
But, you know, yeah, exactly.
All of them that we should be connecting with and talking about and exploring. And 15 minutes is not enough.
15 minutes isn't enough. No,
but
I agree.
It's a good opening chat. Love listening to you. Thanks, Mary.
Oh, thank you, Mary.
Love it when you listen to us as well. But listen, we are going to leave that there tonight. We're going to let you think about that one. What is happening? Is it real? Is it not real? We don't know. But maybe one day we will find out. And until next time.
Hopefully we will. But like Sean said, this is definitely something that we need to speak about again. So until then, we will wave goodbye.
Enjoy.
Night night.